Hello everyone, it's Melissa and I'm back today and I am sharing another project. This is a cover layout for, it's 8.5 by 11 size for my Project Life album. I do that in 8.5 by 11 size. So I'm going to start by pulling from my product jar, and I end up using all the elements that I pull except for mixed media. And I just there wasn't really a need for it because I wanted to use these 8 by 10 ready to frame art prints, and those are from My Mind's Eye, and this collection is called Hello Gorgeous, and I bought it about a year ago from the Scrapbook Expo that I go to every year, and I don't know, paid like $2. It was on clearance. And so you can see the one I chose says, "A life doesn't have to be perfect to be beautiful." And I'm going to use a small 2x3 photo that I printed that I set up on my tripod and took of me and my family on right after the new year. So we just stood there and I set my timer up and voila. I do that every year actually. And so what you saw me doing not too long ago was me distressing a piece of ephemera from my stash that just has the months of the year on it, January to December. I used originally the brushed corduroy, and I don't know if you can tell in the screen here, but the actual print itself has some distressing along the edges, and so I kind of wanted to keep that vintagey, grungy kind of look, and so that's what made me want to distress that piece of ephemera. But in all honesty, I don't love the way it looks right now, so I'm gonna have to change it up here in a bit. And I am using the Distress Oxide inks, and when you use Distress ink, they react with water. So what I'm going to do now is pull out the Gathered Twigs Distress ink and a baby wipe, and I'm just going to remove it and start fresh. And yeah, I just want to take some of the white out and bring it more into a yellow brown tone to match more with the paper and its distressed type look, grunge type look. And so I do pull out the Gathered Twigs, and I play around with that, use the baby wipe some more to lighten it up, and I just let it dry. So some of the items I pulled from my product jar were frames, enamel dots, labels, clips, 6x6 pad, brads, and mixed media. And like I mentioned, I did not use mixed media on this page. I do in fact have some butterfly clips pulled from my stash, and those are from the Paper Studio from Hobby Lobby. I got them a while ago and I was happy to I will in fact get 3 used on this page. So putting a hole in my page so that I can feed the back of the clip in, and I will adhere that down with some washi tape on the back. Whenever I use staples, brads, clips, anything that could potentially poke through my page protector, I always use washi tape on the back for protection, just of other layouts and whatnot in my album. Oh, here I have a sticker just hanging out in my stash. I don't know where it's from, so I'm just going to put it back there for some color, some pink. I have no reason besides that for using that, and I, as you can see, have already done some more distressing on the 8 by 10 art print itself. I tore along the edges there. I have another butterfly clip added to the bottom, and now I just have ephemera. Like, here's a frame, a chipboard frame. It's kind of pinky red, and I am going to use it just as an element behind my photo. Something you will see and maybe not notice is that I seriously use the smallest bits of paper because really the quote takes up so much of the layout, and it was important for me not to cover it up. So hence why I printed my photo at 2x3 and kept it very minimal. Like I mentioned, this is going to be the cover for my Project Life 2019. I always start with a layout in the front. Doesn't always have a picture, but quite often it does. And you know, like every other project, I always do at least one stamp and pull from my product jar and try to do my best to use what I have chosen. So there you see, I have the chipboard behind the photo. I have just that cut apart. I don't even know what it said, but it has white above it, if you can see that, and that's going to need to be covered because I am not wanting to mix white so much to that degree in with this page. Now, as you can see, I'm using a scrap that I just pulled from my 6x6 paper pad. I just usually keep bits in there in like a 6x6 clear sleeve. And so I'm just tucking two little elements back there and just going to glue them in just for some layers, and more importantly to cover, like I mentioned, that white that was showing on that cut apart. And yeah, this layout took me about 20 minutes because like I mentioned, the quote is so big, there's really not much room for other embellishing and stuff like that. So see, I'm just fidgeting here with the bits of paper. I will in fact type out the journaling on the bottom, and it just says, looking ahead to the new year, hashtag 2019 and hashtag let's do this. And so there's another bit of that diagonal stripe paper. I'm just going to tuck it back there just for one more bit of color and layering. And all the edges are distressed. I love having that added bit of texture. So I'm ruffling up and bending as much as possible. And I will end up adding a third butterfly, which in fact gets 3 clips used on this page and 2 brads and a handful of enamel dots. I also, as you can see, added up on the top there. Oh, here I'm showing you a chipboard piece I pulled from my February Allie Edwards kit, and it says, currently making life worth loving. And I also have a stamp that I'm using. It's an old one. It says, I love us, and it's good greetings. It was a Hostess stamp set from a while ago from Stampin' Up. And I stamped that in first and second generation stamping with a mint macaroon from Stampin' Up. It's one of their new colors. And I just put it on the top there. And you see here, I'm just going to select some brads and some enamel dots for my stash. And that's about it. I do end up adding at the end some gold thread that I just balled up and wadded up behind my photo. And yeah, I actually mounted this 8x10 art print onto a vanilla piece of 8.5x11 cardstock from Stampin' Up. So this being said, this is my cover, and so the back side, I just have a piece of 8.5x11 piece of pattern paper on the back, which I don't show you in this video, but that's in fact what I do put on the back. Now this back portion could be a good spot to put for people that do like their intentions or maybe their goals for the year, or just another maybe quote that they like or something inspirational, a free, printable or something like that from Pinterest or wherever. That could be a good spot for it. I in fact just used some, paper from my stash, and that'll be on the back side, and then I will go right into my January. So, yeah. So anyway, I will put a link to a couple of my other Project Life videos in the top corner here. And also, if you want to subscribe to my channel, I would love that. Also, head over to my Facebook page and Instagram and like me over there. I will have the links in the description box below. And yeah, subscribe. And hopefully I'll start posting my January and February Project Life shares here soon. And I look forward to what the new year is going to bring. So thank you so much for watching, guys. I'll have close-ups here at the end, and have a really great week. Bye.